Portland be the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the City of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez, sponsored by 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Seahawks didn't make it look easy, but they got it done. The 12s, listen to this, playing a big role in the win at home. Plus, the next week could get very interesting for Rip City. We're on Dame Watch again, with reports coming from all corners of the association. And a legend subs out. An emotional night for Megan Rapinoe, how she helped the national team pick up a win one final time. What is good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. My name is Orlando, alongside the one and only Art Edwards.
Yep.
How you doing this Sunday, my man?
I'm doing great.
Me too.
Yeah.
Around here, we keep receipts.
We do.
Maybe you know.
Thank you.
I believe that belongs to you for calling it. I don't know if you bought a bunch of Red Bulls
Appreciate
or what that is.
Yeah.
But we keep them around here. It'll all make some sense coming up because, Art.
Oh, yeah.
It was the pre-game speech heard around the nation. Dan Lanning telling his Oregon Ducks the Cinderella story is over, saying, quote, they're fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins.
Oh, yeah.
The Ducks backed up the talk, owning the national spotlight when all eyes were on Deion Sanders and his Colorado Buffaloes. Arguably the biggest story in college football. But the hype train was derailed in Eugene. The Ducks were so dominant, they knocked the Buffaloes out of the national rankings. Bo Nix carved up the Buffaloes 28 for 33 passing with a total of 4 touchdowns. Troy Franklin in wide receiver 1, and he showed why, hauling in 2 TDs and 126 yards. Listen to a couple of these first half stats, Art. Oregon had more touchdowns than Colorado had first downs in the first half. Oregon had more points than Colorado had yards in the first half.
Ouch.
En route to a 42-6 blowout victory. So let's hear from the coaches.
We were prepared for a battle. It didn't end up being a battle, but I've also been on the other end of this before too, and I think that team's heading in the right direction. I think Coach is doing a phenomenal job. On the same note, I get a little passionate at times, right? I get a little excited about what I want to accomplish for our team, and I just want to say, I need to humble myself a little bit. This is one game, right? And I'm not satisfied.
It's a good old-fashioned butt kicking. It's no excuses, no nothing. Their coaches did a heck of a job preparing their team. Obviously, we didn't.
Coach Prime did say he keeps receipts in response to Lanning's pregame speech, but there was plenty of bulletin board material on both sides, social media content on Colorado's side as well. Motivation for a Ducks defense that shined the brightest, collecting 7 sacks, the program's most since 2017, holding Colorado to just 6 points and less than 200 yards of offense. Ducks defensive end Brandon Dorless took it personal.
The whole goal was to show the world that we still Oregon and that's still Colorado. Just because they got all the YouTube videos, all the camera stuff, It pissed me off, they came in yesterday, stepped on our O, spit and all that stuff, You don't come into somebody's town disrespecting us, and that's the result you get when you do all that.
So the receipts now make sense. I've been calling you Archstradamus for a reason, because you've been calling it, man. You are due. So I want to ask you, what's your reaction to how this game played out?
It was even a bigger beatdown than I thought it would be. I mean, I had no doubt that Oregon was going to win by 3 touchdowns at least. That's the way I felt about it. But I certainly didn't see 20 yards of offense in the first half, things like that. I mean, it was just really, they worked them over.
So the Ducks move up a spot to 9th in the AP poll.
Yeah.
They're now 4-0 and visit Stanford. Do you see any type of trap game vibes knowing that Washington is right after that?
No, because Stanford doesn't have enough to stay anywhere near them. So I think they'll be fine.
So the Ducks basically 4 touchdown favorites in that game.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Art, it was a win all around for the U of O. I mean, the only thing that really went wrong was Puddle's head falling off during intros. It was a big-time college football atmosphere. down to the game ball delivery from the U.S. Navy parachute team called the Leapfrogs. Pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah.
The fan base understood the assignment in front of a national audience. They were loud. It was the 6th biggest crowd in Autzen Stadium history with just under 60,000 fans.
Wow.
Speaking of national audiences, the Pac-2 championship, Oregon State versus Washington State, their first meeting, both ranked in the top 25. Off the field, these two universities are united, fighting for survival in conference realignment. And it showed in a number of ways, from the mascots to the WSU band playing OSU's fight song. But on the field, this is two Pac-12 contenders in a conference opener. And Wazoo set the tone behind the play of quarterback Cameron Ward. If you weren't paying attention, you should be now. The Beavers couldn't stop him, or receiver Josh Kelly, who made some sensational grabs for the highlight reel. That one in particular, just making the defense look silly. He caught 3 touchdowns, and the Cougs lit up the OSU defense for more than 500 yards. But you know that no lead is safe, even on the Palouse. Oregon State put together a furious rally, down 17 in the 4th quarter. Deshaun Fenwick had a great night, 101 yards rushing, 3 total touchdowns. But it wasn't enough to dig themselves out, and Washington State holds on for a 38-35 victory, handing OSU its first loss of the season, so they fall to 3-1 and dropping 5 spots to 19 in the latest AP poll, while the 16th ranked Cougs remain undefeated with 2 top 25 wins on their resume. Yeah. So, Art, you were locked into this game.
Yep.
Were you surprised by the result?
No, I thought it was going to be a close game, so I wasn't really surprised. I thought, it was a flip a coin. Either one of these two teams, I thought, going in, could win this game.
What did you think about the quarterback play, DJ Uiagalelei?
I thought he was all right. He didn't hurt the team, but then I didn't feel like he was a guy who was going to go out and win the game for him either.
Okay, so it doesn't get any easier for the 19th ranked Beavs. It's a short week. They host Utah on a Friday night, who's now ranked 10th. What do you think of this matchup?
Well, I think the key is whether or not Cameron Rising plays. If he does not play, I think that Oregon State can take control of that game and can win it. If he does and he's okay, could be a different story. Yeah, the Beavs are slight favorites, but this is basically another pick-em. Oh, yeah. This time, though, OSU at home, they are tough to beat at home. Yes, they are. And on the WSU side of things, look out now. Their schedule opens up, and they avoid a couple of the conference heavyweights in the schedule. Yep. So they've got a clear path to being in that championship game. Till the Apple Cup. Look out. It's going to get spicy. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Portland State, who ran all over Cal Poly in the Vikings conference opener. This, a 99-yard kickoff return by Christian Grubb to get the party started. The Vikings had 340 yards rushing and 52 points in the first half. PSU had 5 runs of over 50 yards in the game. The final score, 59-21. The Vikes, though, now visit number 3 Montana State next week. Art, you see this one coming? I really didn't, although, Coach Barnum told me earlier this year at practice that the offense was really good. Oh, my goodness. Yes. That might be an understatement now. So. Great win for the Vikes. Oh, yeah. The countdown is on. The Blazers open training camp in a little more than a week. And Dame Watch still on. Multiple league insiders have reported that trade talks have picked up, but no deal is imminent. That's the latest Woj bomb. However, Bleacher Report's Chris Haynes recently went on the D-Lo and KC show and said the Blazers are, quote, refusing to talk to the Miami Heat. That's Lillard's preferred destination. He says the Heat know they don't have what the Blazers want and are willing to get other teams involved. Meanwhile, Jake Fisher from Yahoo Sports says the Bulls and Raptors have emerged as a possible destination, and so have the Suns. So the last thing in all of this is our friend from 1080 The Fan, Danny Morang, is reporting if no deal gets done, the Blazers will bring Lillard to training camp. All of this stuff changes by the day and in some cases by the hour. Yes. But there's a reason why reports are coming fast and furious. Oh, yeah. No one wants to be dealing with this on the first day of training camp. So, Art, how are you feeling about all of this? Yeah, fatigued. I just want this to get done. Get it finished. Let's move on. Let's get the players that we're going to have and get this season going. I think you speak for a lot of Trailblazers fans in that obviously don't want Damian Lillard to leave. No. But if a trade is going to happen,
It should happen soon.
Yes.
And from the trade standpoint of things, it makes sense why the Trailblazers are on the phone. They're trying to pull up that price tag, while the Miami Heat, they don't want to be bidding against themselves.
No.
So let's see what happens over the next week. But it makes sense why you're hearing all of these reports now.
It does.
We got much more Sports Sunday still to come. We'll take a trip around the NFL. Note, this is not actual footage from a game, but it sure felt like it for one of the teams. Remember that, Art?
Oh, yeah.
Those were good old days.
Yeah.
Later, Portland Winterhawks drop the puck on a new season. Can you believe it's already that time of the year?
No.
How about those Seattle Seahawks trying to build off last week's victory? Today, hosting the Carolina Panthers without #1 draft pick Bryce Young. For a while, the Panthers had it going on. QB2, Andy Dalton, the 47-yard touchdown pass to DJ Chark. Carolina had a 13-12 lead at the half. Uh-oh. Then it was time for the Kenneth Walker experience. Great reception to keep a drive alive in the third quarter. 36 yards for the first down. Walker pounded it in from the 1, and the Seahawks had control of the game. Walker finished with 97 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Had another 59 receiving. Seattle gets the dub 37-27. The crowd at Lumen was wild. The Panthers had 8 false start penalties in the game. I repeat, 8. Jason Myers kicked 5 field goals for Seattle. They moved to 2-1 on the season. Next up, the Seahawks take on the Giants on the road Monday night. What stood out to you in that game, man?
It was an ugly game.
Yeah.
It was really ugly, but the Seahawks found a way to win.
A win is a win. Never apologize for that, especially in the NFL. 2-1 on the season. You know what time it is,
Yes,
Art.
I do.
Let's take our weekly trip around the NFL. Record-breaking offense and epic comebacks and even a shocking upset carry the day. Let's make the longest trip we can, all the way to Miami. And it was a really long day for the Denver Broncos. This was no contest. Miami scored on 8 of their first 9 drives. They scored 70 points. Most points in a game since 1966. By the way, that is too shy of the single game record for an NFL game. Fans even were chanting, 3 more points. 3 more points, but the Dolphins took a knee. They pound the Broncos 70-20. They gave up more points today than they've scored all season.
Ouch. All right, let's take a trip north to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The Vikings against the Chargers. A couple of teams looking for their first win of the season. Justin Herbert had himself a day. The former Oregon star threw for 405 yards and touchdowns. Herbert is the second fastest player to reach 15,000 yards. Took him 52 games. Patrick Mahomes did it 49. Herbert also hit the 100 touchdown mark. Chargers beat the Vikings 28-24.
So that Herbert guy's pretty good, huh?
Pretty good.
Let's take a short trip to Lambeau. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Packers hosting the Saints. Packers scored 18 points in the fourth quarter to come back and beat the Saints 18-17. Jordan Love, he got a win in his first career start at Lambeau Field. He finished the day with 259 yards and a touchdown. The Saints lost quarterback Derek Carr to a shoulder injury.
All right, let's head to Glendale, Arizona for an upset special. On paper, the Cardinals and the Cowboys game, it was supposed to go the way of America's team.
What the heck happened?
I don't know. The Cardinals didn't read that paper, I guess. They jumped out to a 12-point lead, never looked back. Rondale Moore with that touchdown run right there, the big run of the day. Joshua Dobbs playing quarterback for Arizona threw a touchdown pass, led the Cardinals past the Cowboys 28-16 the final. Arizona never trailed in the game. Dak Prescott threw a costly interception at the end of the game to seal it for Arizona.
Talk about a beatdown, man. Come on, who saw that coming?
No one.
One thing I can promise you, we got more Sports Sunday on the other side.
He's dead tired, and the netminder thrown in will play it up the window. Lead feed for Albert Nguyen. He'll skate in, clear, good breakaway to score.
All right, that was Marcus Nguyen with the breakaway goal in overtime to give the Portland Winterhawks their first win of the year. That happened last night. Hawks split a pair of weekend games on the road. They won 6-5 in Kelowna last night. They fell to Wenatchee in their opener, not the home opener, but the opener of the season on Friday. Hawks are in Seattle next Saturday, then back to Portland for their home opener on October 6th. It's your Toyota Sunday Sizzle. The Seattle Kraken get their preseason started tomorrow night against Calgary. In fact, they're playing 2 games against the Flames at the exact same time.
What?
Yeah, teams are going to split up their rosters, kind of like baseball. They do that, playing both in Seattle and at the Saddle Dome. The Kraken opened up training camp on Thursday. Year 2 for the franchise saw them make it to the second round of the playoffs. They lost to Dallas in 7 games. But last year's success creates this year's biggest challenge.
We're not going to surprise anybody next year. We're going to be taken very seriously, I think, by a lot of teams, and we need to realize that and come out and play with some swagger.
Yeah, there you go. Jared McCann had 40 goals to lead Seattle last year. The Kraken opened the regular season October the 10th in Vegas, taking on the defending champs.
Let's kick it.
Yeah.
Portland Timbers are on a roll, and they have entered the playoff chat, capping off a 9-point week with a win over last-place Colorado. This match was tied in the second half, and then the 71st minute happened. The Timbers deliver the knockout. Felipe Mora calls game, finding the back of the net for the winner. Timbers defeat the Rapids 3-2. They move up to 6th place in the West. Wasn't long ago they were below the playoff line. Portland has a 6-match unbeaten streak going, with 3 matches left in the regular season. The players know what's on the line.
They're locked in. You know, they know what's on what they're playing for. They're playing for a chance to win an MLS Cup right now, and I mean that's the most important thing. And you're either on the bus or you're off the bus.
And a global icon exits the international stage for one final time.
Special moments in Chicago. Former University of Portland star Megan Rapinoe, an icon in women's soccer and in sports in general, finishing up her final match as a member of the U.S. national team, taking a well-deserved bow. She even played a key role in the win over South Africa. Rapinoe's corner kick lands with Emily Sonnet for the goal. But Sonnet won't celebrate alone. This, another great moment, one last time. Are you not entertained? Good stuff. Rapinoe will finish up the NWSL season before heading into retirement. How about some big news in Tracktown, USA? The U.S. track and field trials for the Paris Olympics are returning to Eugene next year. Hayward Field has hosted this huge event ahead of the last 4 summer games. The trials run the last 10 days of June, and then it's on to the Olympic Summer Games next July, Paris 2024. We'll be right back. You hear about this, Art?
Just did, yeah.
Usher's got a new confession.
All
He's
right.
headlining the 2024 Super Bowl halftime show in Las Vegas. The NFL announced that the 8-time Grammy winner will headline the big game. Usher says it's, quote, honor of a lifetime and a moment to cross off the bucket list. No word on who will be playing in the Super Bowl. We're going to have to wait a while on that news.
Are you going to be a guest artist?
Man, how do we get that going?
I don't know. We got to work on that.
I'm hoping we can get Usher on Sports Sunday.
I'm sure it's done.
If we can get Taylor in the pre-show.
Why not?
Let's do it. Good night, everyone.